Hey Wildcats, it's Chrissy,
And Jerry.
bringing you another how-to from the kitchen with Dining Services. We're going to be making monster cookies today, and Jerry's going to give you all the ingredients you're going to need.
You're going to need 1 cup of sugar, a half a pound of brown sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of corn syrup, 3/4 teaspoon of vanilla, 2 teaspoons of baking soda, 4 ounces of butter, 3 eggs, 1.5 cups of peanut butter, 4.5 cups of oatmeal, 4 ounces of chocolate chips, and 4 ounces of any M&M you would like.
The nice thing about this recipe is you can swap up your chocolate chips and your M&Ms for things that you like. Say you're a fan of butterscotch, put in half butterscotch chip, half chocolate chip. All right, let's get started. First thing going in is our butter.
We're going to start it at a low, just kind of whip it up a little bit. Now we're adding sugar.
And you want to cream your sugar and butter together until it's a nice white fluffy texture.
Next we're going to add corn syrup. Our vanilla. Our baking powder. And our brown sugar. We'll let that mix up together for a bit.
Jerry made sure to scrape down the sides of the bowl so that we get everything incorporated. Now he's cracking the eggs, of course in a separate bowl so that we don't get any eggshells.
We're going to go ahead and scrape down again. Make sure you get all the way to the bottom. Sometimes that butter will stick. And then we're going to add our eggs in here. And let that mix up for a bit. Again, always scraping down the sides of your mixing bowl. A lot of times a few stray pieces of egg or sugar might get up there. You want to make sure it gets all incorporated into that recipe. Then we're going to go ahead and add our peanut butter to it. You can use whatever type of peanut butter you want. Creamy peanut butter, crunchy peanut butter.
You can even use sun butter or almond butter.
We're using creamy peanut butter here. Stop the thing before we stop our next, add our next ingredient. We want to go ahead and, like I said, scrape everything down. You never know what got stuck to the bottom, but you want everything to incorporate. You hate to take a bite into a huge chunk of cookie and find a big chunk of flour or egg. It is not always the most enjoyable experience. Now we're going to add our oatmeal. One piece of advice I have when you add a dry ingredient, make sure it's at a very low speed to start off, because it will start flinging stuff everywhere. We're going to go ahead and add our M&Ms and our chocolate chips together.
And then you want to just mix it until they're combined with the rest of the ingredients.
As you can see, that didn't take very long at all. Now when you take your mixer off, always make sure you scrape that down because you'll leave about half a cookie at least on there. Now, we went ahead and moved it into a more open bowl so it's easier to scoop. One thing technique I like to use is called the palm technique. You take your ice cream scooper. I'm using about a 3/4 ounce ice cream scooper. And I'll just kind of squish them into the palm of my hand. And then I'll drop them onto the sheet pan. You want to kind of keep them about 1/2 inch to an inch apart per cookie, because they will expand a little bit. Now we're going to go put these in the oven. We're going to put them at a 350 degree standard oven or a 300 degree convection oven for about 11 minutes. We're back. We took some time to clean up our dishes. Gave a perfect amount of time for our cookies to cool. So what we're going to do is pan up these. These are the ones that we just pulled out of the oven. We did put a bunch on another sheet pan that we sealed up and we put in the cooler so they'll firm up so we can cryovac them and freeze them for use for a later date. Like I said, we can probably use those for about up to a year after we froze them. One thing we also forgot to mention is anytime you work with food, or anytime at all, make sure you're washing your hands for 20 seconds each. It'll fight off any bacteria or viruses, plus it's just good hygiene. We want to wish you guys the best of luck. We miss you guys. If you guys have any recipes you want us to try, send them to us. We'll look at them. Let us know how you're doing. We miss you. We'll talk to you later. Bye.